Hello Scrappers, Mike here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to part 6 of me processing my Stockpot material. And I'm hoping to put this project to bed in this video. I wasn't expecting it to last to 6 videos, but well, stuff's happened. And what's happened is there's been a lot of viewer comments and suggestions, which I appreciate. Thank you very much. Feel free. Keep that stuff coming. Some of it's really good. But what I'd like to accomplish in this video today is I'm going to take these filters here, which have the palladium salt I've captured in the last couple of videos, and I'm going to put them in this dish here, and we're going to put it in my home-built Capelling oven and see if we can reduce it to palladium metal sponge. I'm not expecting to get much. I know there's not a lot here. I mean there's not a lot of salt, so that's not going to equate to a lot of metal, but still, I would like to see some palladium metal before this series comes to an end, and I'll bet some of you would like to see it too. So we're going to try that. We're going to put this in here and put it in the Capelling oven and heat it up. Now that's going to take a while, and while that's happening, you know, some of the comments I got, several people have mentioned that looking at my stannous chloride tests, which I gave you a few close-up looks at, they're thinking that there was rhodium in some of my material there. And well, I mean, I saw those rose pink tests too, so you know, I can't disagree with you. Some folks out there think there's a lot of rhodium there, and that's where I do disagree. I don't think there's a lot of rhodium. I think it's probably just a trace of rhodium. But you know, rhodium, I mean, the last time I looked at the price of rhodium, it was like $14,000 an ounce. I haven't even looked at it in like the last 6 months. I don't know what it is now, but I'm sure it's still incredibly expensive. So, you know, it would be nice to know if we actually do have any rhodium. So, what I'm going to do is, while we're waiting on a result from putting this stuff in the oven, I'm going to put this stuff, which is the remains of the original material from my Stockpot after the first treatment with aqua regia. I'm going to put this stuff back in the fume hood, and we're going to hit it with some aqua regia, and we're going to boil it hard in aqua regia for a while. And then we're going to do a stannous chloride test on it and see if we get any other precious metal looking stuff out of it. I am not expecting to get a lot. I mean, if there's iridium in here, if there's rhodium in here, if there's, oh, what's the other one? I can't even think of it now. You know, it's going to be a small amount, I'm sure, and those don't like to dissolve in aqua regia anyway, but maybe we'll get enough for a stannous chloride test to tell us whether there's anything at all there. I'm thinking that I just need to let this stuff build up in my Stockpot for a few more years, maybe decades, and then there might be enough rhodium in there to actually go after. By then we'll probably be mining asteroids and it'll be worthless, so who knows. But anyway, so yeah, let me get this stuff in the oven, and then we'll deal with this stuff. So, let's see if I can get this stuff. Ooh, the filters want to fall apart, of course. Stuff's falling out of the filters. At least it's not getting on my fingers. Let me get a paintbrush and get the last of the red stuff out of this container and into this melt dish, and then we'll get it in the oven. Yeah, I kind of doubt I am lucky enough to have a bunch of rhodium. Okay, now I've got it all over this paintbrush. That was wet. Okay, I might have to, there's not enough palladium here to worry about. I was going to say, I could clip the bristles off the brush and include it. I might do that. What I think I need to do is get another little piece of paper and wipe the red stuff out of here and then include it in there. Just a little piece of paper here. I hope I'm on camera. I'm not really paying attention to the viewfinder. Yeah. I don't know if there's enough there to worry about. I don't know if there's enough in here to worry about, but we're going to get it. Yeah. All right. There we go. Okay, so let me get this stuff in the oven and get it turned on and going. All right, I don't have any on my fingers. Good. All right, I'm gonna throw these gloves out though. I should probably throw them with my filters and rags and process them in the future. I might do that. All right, let's relocate to the oven. So there's my good old furnace of truth, my home-built Capelling oven. We saw this in episode 1 when I initially processed the stuff from the Stockpot. So I mentioned in episode 1 that I have a whole playlist on how I built this thing. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out. I will put a link to the playlist in the upper right. Okay, I'm going to leave the door cracked slightly so that smoke from the burning paper can come out, and also the gases that are going to be evolved from breaking down the palladium ammonium chloride can come out, and then we'll just let it do its thing. So this is going to take a while. This is going to ramp up in temperature. I still have it set to 910 C, which I think is going to be plenty hot enough to break down the palladium ammonium chloride into metal sponge. And temperature's coming up fast already. Already up about 5 degrees and rising. So, okay, we'll just let this go and come over and check on it from time to time. Once it looks like there's no more smoke evolving, I'll shut the door so the temperature can ramp up the rest of the way. Although, again, like I said in the beginning in episode 1, I got to be careful not to get it too hot for too long, because these metals can volatilize and start basically subliming out as a gas, or caking themselves on cooler parts of the oven. So, yeah, I won't heat it for too long, just until it looks like it becomes sponge, and then we'll shut this down. All right, let's go back over to the lab and get to work on the other stuff. Okay, so we're back at the fume hood. First thing I'm going to do is take this stuff and put it in a smaller beaker. Oh yeah, there's lots of powder there. This is fine powdery. The filter's falling apart. You know, getting this series of videos out has taken about a month, and the filters have kind of fallen apart in this stuff that I've had sitting around for a while. Yeah, alright. Got that in there. Let's put some uriatic acid on it and get the fume hood going. And I might have to crack open another one of these because it's about empty. Yeah, I'm going to need to crack open another one. Not sure that's going to be enough. A lot of paper pulp there. Okay, I'll get a full 500 milliliters in there because I want to boil this hard. I don't want to boil all of the hydrogen chloride out of it. And over there. Turn the heat on. Although I just had a thought, let me turn the heat off for now. I'm going to have to move my hot plate to a different outlet, because it's plugged in the same outlet as the furnace is now. And I think both of them running will trip the breaker. So let me put this on a different outlet. Alright, I think we're safe. Let me put some heat to it. So on just any random day, I can blow a circuit breaker out here. So let's see how things go. I'm going to put, that's about 2.5 milliliters of nitric acid. Put that in there. And about another 2 milliliters. So we're going to go with about 4.5 milliliters of nitric acid for now. Just going to leave it at that. And we're going to let this heat up and bring it up to a good rolling boil anyway. And then, you know, let it boil for a little while. Maybe add a little more acid to it even, a little more nitric. And then we'll shut it down and see just if there is any, you know, precious metal left in this stuff. Especially there's any rhodium in it. So many of you seem to think there's rhodium here. So we will check. We'll call this a viewer request special, I guess. Rhodium. Okay, so we'll let this cook, and we'll go check on what's going on in the oven. Yeah, it's been a little while. The temperature's up to 379 over there, and we've got some smoke. I hope the smoke's showing up. We got some smoke coming out. That's the paper burning off, I'm sure. And we'll just let this continue to heat up, and I'm going to stand away from the smoke. I don't want to breathe it just in case there's any nastiness in it. All right, let's let this continue to cook. Well, it's been a little while. It's starting to heat up. I'm starting to see some bubbling in there. Let me open the door so maybe you get a clearer view of it. Let's see if it focuses any better. Yeah, so there's some bubbling going on. I don't think it's hot enough to start boiling yet, so we might have some kind of reaction going. So let that continue to heat up and see what happens. See what happens. Should be interesting. Well, we're really cooking. The Hawk's interested. He's wanting to know what's going on down here. Maybe he's just looking for breakfast. It's early in the morning. All right, let's see what our temperature is. I can see a red glow in there. I don't know if that's showing up. 493. Okay. And again, I am standing back out of the smoke. Take a quick look inside, though. Let me unlatch it. Oh, yeah. I think that's mostly paper burning off, but it could be the platinum or the palladium salt starting to break down. So, yeah, don't think I want to be breathing that smoke. So I'm going to stay upwind over here. And in fact, I'm just going to go away and go back over to the lab and see what's happening over there. And just let this thing continue to cook. Well, check this out. I walked away to check on the oven for a few minutes and come back to find this boiling pretty hard with some orange fume production. I'm going to take that as a good sign. So I'm just going to let this continue to cook until I don't see any more orange fumes. I might put another milliliter or so of acid in there and see if anything happens. And then we'll cool it down and we'll do a stannous chloride test on it. Okay, so for now I'm just going to let it cook. There's less smoke coming out. I did a little quick research. Did a little quick Googling and decided that my set point of 910 degrees was way too high for this reaction, so I backed it down to 610. And the temperature's still rising. And yeah, the fact that the smoke is reducing tells me that, yeah, it's probably nearing completion. We'll see. And a lot of this smoke coming out is probably ammonium chloride that's been vaporized and then is recondensing into a white solid once it gets out into the cool air. So that's probably what we're seeing. So this is nearing its set point. We'll just let it sit at its set point for a while. Burn off any more of that palladium ammonium chloride in there. And hopefully we'll end up with just some sponge and nothing else. Okay, let's go see what's going on in the fume hood. I'm getting my exercise this morning, walking back and forth between here and the lab. Alrighty, so this has been cooking for a while longer. No more orange fumes. It's boiling pretty hard. I'm going to turn the heat down a bit. I did say I wanted to boil it hard, but I want to put more nitric acid in there too, and I don't want to have a boil over. And, you know, nitric acid's boiling point is well below that of water. So I think part of the potential risk for boil over you get by adding nitric acid to hot liquids is just the fact that the acid itself wants to vaporize and come back out. I'll put this in a few drops at a time and see what happens here. And that's, you know, less than a milliliter I'm putting in. Just let that go and see if we see any orange fume production. Which so far I'm not seeing, but it is boiling awful hard. But it's boiling harder than it was where I put the acid in, so I think we're just boiling the nitric off. Yeah, I'll turn the heat down some more. But really, I am not really seeing any evidence of any kind of reaction. It just looks like it's boiling to me. Yeah, no orange fumes. So we might be boiling that acid off I just put in there, but it's not decomposing into nitrogen dioxide on the way out. Okay, turn this down a bit more. Maybe I'll try putting a little bit more acid in once the boiling subsides. Maybe we'll get a better look at any kind of reaction that'll happen if it's not boiling so hard. I'll just let it cool down a bit and try that again. Maybe the slightest trace of orange there. It's really hard to tell though. Okay, let's let it cool down. Well, we are just below our set point here, and the smoke seems to have completely stopped. I'm going to close the door, latch it, keep the heat in. Maybe we can get up to our set point that way. And just let this cook at the set point for a while. And make sure that we have converted all of that palladium salt into palladium metal sponge. Yeah, it's coming up to the set point quick now that I've shut the door. Okay, good. So we'll just let this cook for a while. Let's go check on what's going on over in the fume hood. Okay, this has calmed down quite a bit. Let me put maybe another half a milliliter of nitric acid in there and see what that looks like. All right. Slowly again. Well, yeah, I mean, that picked the reaction up, but again, it could just be the nitric acid boiling off. Because even though we've got a much more furious reaction in there, notice the lack of orange-brown fumes. So I do believe that's just the nitric acid I dropped in there boiling off because it's above the boiling point of nitric acid. Okay. So there doesn't seem to be much else happening in there. Yeah, I'm not really seeing any trace of orange fumes. I'm going to let this cook for a little while longer. And then we'll shut it down, let it cool off, let it settle because it's very turbid. And then we'll do a stannous chloride solution on the clear liquid. And see what, if anything, we've got in there. All right, I took a quick peek in here off camera a little bit ago, and there's a button of material in the center of the dish in there, and it looked like it was still a little red in the center of the button. So I have bumped the set point up to 710, and it's coming up to it. And we're just going to let it cook at this higher temperature for a little while, and then we'll take another look inside. I'll give you a look this time, but it just looked like it hadn't all been completely processed. It's also possible I have a mixture of salts in there, and they're not all going to get reduced in this method. So, I don't know. We'll see what we get. I said I don't want to overheat it, but it looked like it just wasn't done. Maybe it's also possible that my thermocouple's reading a higher temperature than what's in the... I'll stay away from there, green fly. You're not going to like what's in there. It's possible my thermocouple's reading a higher temperature than what the melt dish is getting to. So, we'll see. Well, we've just been quietly hovering around the set point for quite a while now. Let me see if I can give you a look inside. Let me get my glove on while holding the phone. This is not easy. Get it on my right hand. Had to put the phone down. Let's have a look at what's going on inside here. You know what? Okay, I'm still seeing red in the middle of that, but you know what? I think it's just glowing red. I think it's done. Oh, there's cracks in the dish. Okay. That's a little scary. Let me turn the heat off, and we'll let this cool down, and then I'll pull the dish out. I'll leave the door cracked a little bit so it'll cool quicker. But I don't want to pull the dish out now and have a sudden temperature change cause the dish to just fall apart and dump my palladium sponge all over the ground. So we'll let it cool down, then we'll slowly and gently, then we'll pull it out and see what we've got. All right, so here we go. Here's what we got after the incineration in the furnace. It's interesting looking. We can weigh it up and see how much material is there. But I do believe that is palladium sponge, possibly contaminated with some platinum. It's funny, I thought it was still red because it was glowing red in the furnace. But actually, now that I look at it under the lights, there is a little bit of reddishness there. There's also some green, though. And, you know, it's got sort of a gray-green to it. And that, I believe, is indicative of palladium oxide. So I do believe we've got mostly palladium here. All right, so let me turn off the fan behind me, because that could blow this stuff all over the place. And we will try to weigh this stuff up. I'll just sweat it out for a minute while we weigh this. And see what we've got. Because, you know, it looks like a lot, but I'll bet it's just really lightweight, fluffy stuff. I'll just bet you. Let's see what we've got here. Can you read that? I can't tell on the viewfinder if that's showing up or not. Oh, yeah. That's pretty lightweight, fluffy stuff there. We'll be lucky if it... Oh, there's more there than I thought. Okay. 0.8 grams of, I would say, mostly palladium, maybe with a little bit of platinum in it. 0.8 exactly, plus some stuck to my melt dish, which is now worthless because it's cracked. This don't make melt dishes like they used to. All right, so I hope that's showing up. Get it where maybe there's not such a reflection. Yeah, 0.8 grams. Actually, it was 0.8 exactly before I moved it, so we'll go with 0.8. All right, so 0.8 grams of mostly palladium. Nice. That's a lot more than I was expecting to get. I thought there'd just be a trace. So, okay. Let's take a look and see what we've got in solution over here. Now, I honestly have not done this yet, so I don't know. In fact, I need a pipette. Let me get a pipette. Yeah, so I don't know if we've got something great here, or I've just wasted my time in chemicals. I don't know. I mean, it is a suggestive color. I'll give it that. It's a suggestive color. Yeah. I like the color. Well, what do you know? It's subtle. I don't know if you've seen it. It's subtle. But it is pink. Okay? So maybe we do have some rhodium in there. Not a lot. Okay, this is... You know, okay, $4,000 an ounce or whatever it is these days, I've got probably a few cents worth of rhodium. All right, it's definitely not a lot, but the pink color is very suggestive of rhodium, but subtle, not enough to worry about. And hey, even Hoke had trouble with rhodium. I wouldn't know where to begin to get it out of solution, and I'm not even going to try, you know, unless I have, you know, bright, dark pink, maybe. So, yeah, but good call, folks out there who thought maybe I had some rhodium in here. You might be right. That could very well be an indication for some rhodium. But I don't think it's enough to worry about. I don't know what to do with it, other than return it to my stock pot and just let it build up. I mean, it'll cement out on the copper in there again, and I'll get it, and maybe some more in the future. And who knows, a couple decades from now, maybe there'll be enough rhodium in there for me to actually worry about extracting. I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Anyway, I know a lot of you are waiting for me to melt this down and make a shiny little button. And you're going to be oh so disappointed when I don't. I know everybody wants to see the fire, the flame, the spectacle of it.
Cool. Fire, 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 fire.
But, yeah, well, this is probably contaminated with some platinum. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to store this powder. And when I have more, enough to actually try doing a separation between the two metals, we'll put this back into solution. And it's much easier to get a powder back into solution than it is a button. You know, this will go back into solution very quickly, a few minutes. A button could take hours to dissolve at aqua regia. I mean, it's just a difference in surface area. This powder has just a tremendous amount of surface area, whereas a button has very little. So I'm going to store this as a powder. I'll get a nice little vial, glass vial, to put it in and seal it up and keep it somewhere safe. Until I have some more palladium. But hey, we have achieved my goal for this video. We have palladium metal right here in my hot little hand. We have some palladium metal. We have succeeded. So I'm a happy camper. I hope you guys are happy. If you're happy, give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe to see future videos. I think we're finally done with Stockpot though. So we'll get back to some other gold, silver, precious metal recovery videos, scrapping videos, and whatnot in the future. So subscribe to see those videos. Check out my two other channels, ElectroGeek64, where there's good stuff going on if you're at all interested in electronics or retro computing, and Mike's Lapidary and Fossils if you're at all interested in fossils, rocks, lapidary, fossil prep, whatever. Check them out. Please like, subscribe, and comment there too. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Bye. How the heck am I going to get the palladium out of this melt dish? Put this back in the fume hood, heat it up. Maybe put another drop of nitric acid in there, dissolve that palladium out of it. Then put the liquid in the stock pot. Okay, I'll give that a try. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.